I wanted to get on and talk about the truth about having faith. I actually really just want to cry, but I wonder sometimes if what I'm experiencing is like, if this is like a U.S. thing, or if this is just an infection to the human consciousness. Like, what the fuck is the problem? This is what I'm talking about. What's wrong with minding your business? Why do you feel like you need to stop what you're doing to come over here and fuck with me? There is a blatant infection inside of the human consciousness to not want to respect somebody's peace of mind. Why?
Say, Queen, you all right over here?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody ain't bothering you or nothing like that?
Not until now.
What happened? Come on.
I'm good.
Good. Okay, I was just checking up to see you with me. I just try to make sure a female be straight, she be comfortable. Even with a kid, even with somebody who kind of screwed up. I'm trying to help them out or whatever. That's it. That's all.
All right, thank you.
Like you needed something to eat. I'll take you to the QT, go get something to eat. Or you trying to get back home, whatever. I try to see whatever I can do to help you.
Thank you.
I'm not here to harm. Never been here to harm nobody. Feel me? So like the earlier today, I seen some nigga he trying to jump on this girl. We don't even know. And I ain't gonna say what I did with her, but it was wrong. You don't know this girl, so we trying to plus I then throw stuff further like you know this girl. And we got proof that you ain't never been with this girl. He say he don't even know this, so by the way, you know what I'm saying, that's all I'm going with. So shit, I'm bad. I'm trying to make sure everybody's
Thank you.
you got the mindset.
All right, thank you. If I need help, I will say that I need help. The only reason I don't get on live and say, hey, I need help is because there are certain things that I know that I have to do on my own. But when I'm talking about the general public, sir, please. Yeah, I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm so tired of living here. I'm talking about Earth. Like, y'all are ghetto. This is ghetto. This is not where it's at. It's not. I should not have to feel completely expended just to be sheltered from the cold. Well, like, why are we doing this, you know? I mean, that's fine. Like what you see and keep pushing. Keep pushing. You know, like every person has a invisible, but you should be able to see it, barrier. So like to break that just because you are intrigued is selfish. Let me keep my peace. Especially because of the hour. I feel like it is easy, and I'm not discounting like the fact that you want to be encouraging, but it's so easy to say keep going. I've been at this for 4 years, waiting on some shit to shake. And then you start to look. I'm about to start crying because it's not where it's at. You start to feel like somebody's just playing a game on you. You know, like maybe you are delusional, and there is no shit to shake. That's the type of stuff that just make people feel like they just want to like push the exit button. You don't know when the end of a turmoil will come. It makes you crazy to take abuse and then try to transmute it every time it comes to be able to focus on the positive of it. It makes you crazy. And it's like trauma. Time for a husband is crazy. I don't want to be dicked down just to be underneath somebody's roof. It's so hard to find well-intended men because y'all are insane. It's so hard to find a well-intended man that can hold a fair and sincere and comprehensive conversation. Consider my words to have value, my desires to have value, my perspectives to have value. And the worst thing is, like, you know, not even, I got on here to tell the truth. I'm tired. I'm tired of holding on. And I'm not, suicidal. No, I'm just telling y'all, like, this shit is for the birds. Like, you feel like you want to Be upright and honor your spirit, and try not to play the game like everybody else out here just for gain. And you get slapped in the face. I feel like I'm a walking piece of karma just for everybody to take advantage of, because I look for the best in people, because I want them to look for the best in me. But this shit is for the birds. I don't know what is going on. I'm like, maybe I should just move out of the country. No, this shit is everywhere. It's everywhere. Is my attire for function or fashion? What are you talking about? Skip all the pity talk. Skip all the pity talk. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You know, like, make room. What is wrong with you to where you can't hold tight to be able to make room for someone else to emote for a moment? You know, isn't that what the human consciousness, the law of oneness is all about? Is about sharing the human experience in love and consideration and equal exchange. If I'm feeling some kind of way, you should be able to and be willing to make room for it for a moment. If it's not your vibe, if it's not something that you want to get down with, you are absolutely welcome to shift lives. It's really not that deep. But to encourage me to quit the pity talk, that's not allowing for me to authentically express. And that's the problem. There is an infection inside of the human consciousness to where y'all think it's okay to not allow for life to be. That's my issue. That is my issue. I don't want... What do I want? You ever seen those pictures online where it's like a picture up top and a picture at the bottom of somebody who's inside of a cave and they're just like tunneling away, trying to mine for gold. And the guy at the top, he's like, fuck it. Drops the shovel, you know, and starts walking towards the exit. But the other one at the bottom, he just continues a little bit more. And lo and behold, you know, after 2 or 3 more shuffles, he reaches this huge pot of gold. I feel like the guy at the bottom, the lo and behold, right? But I don't know. It's not 2 or 3 shuffles. Like I said, it's been 4 years of this, of digging, of trying to make sense of how this works. Hold on. One more day. You know, you ever get into journaling? You know, for your own peace of mind? My journaling looks like I have enough for one more day. I can do one more day. My job is not to get on here and tell y'all the ins and outs of my entire life so that you can understand exactly where I'm coming from. If you look at the title is The Truth About Faith. Sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you are blind. Sometimes you are tired. I am tired. And I'm tired. It's 2:15 in the morning. Spirituality is not just, I'm gonna get real with y'all for a minute. Spirituality is not just prayers and practice. Magic is real. Ill intent is real. And being exposed to the negative aspects of spirituality is a real thing. And when you out here telling the truth about things, when you out here trying to make people aware, trying to awaken consciousnesses, trying to help others remove themselves from like chaos, you become a target. And I have been a target to ill intent for years, for most of my life, which is why I know so much about spirituality, because I had to find out about it to protect myself from this bullshit. It's not okay. It's very real. So like you become so very exhausted from trying to dodge things that you can't even see. It's wear on the mind and on the spirit. And that's the intent, to wear you down so you take yourself out. But I also understand the power of energy. So what happens is I get on live, right, where I have open-ended access to other forms of consciousness, and I emote to be able to transmute that energy, to be able to hear myself from a different perspective. Right away is crazy. Let me tell y'all something. I love my life. I've found myself in some of the most amazing situations and places, and I don't take any of it for granted. I know that I'm very much so capable of getting through my situations. That's not my issue. My issue is the fact that I have to do it. Like there should be, you know, as far back as you pull is as far forward as you should be going, and I'm still pulling, right? Still allowing for this tension. That's not even what I wanted to tell you. I'm outside to something in the morning, and without letting you into the very intimate details of my situation, I'm outside 2 in the morning. If I'm tired, what I want to do is I want to stop at like a parking lot or a sidewalk or a porch or a church, whatever, and sit down for a moment. That's fine, right? That should be fine, right? No. Because of how in-depth my spiritual experience has been, certain things have happened that people truly don't believe, but I'm gonna share it with y'all, and you might think I'm crazy, whatever. I was walking on the sidewalk, middle of the day, and I look down and there's a roach in front of me, like a big cockroach. It's in the city. I live in the city. And I stop because it's coming toward me. Universal law says that no matter what the being is, you're supposed to abide by certain things. And one of those things is peace and safety and personal space. Like I was saying, don't impede upon someone's bubble, their peace, like you're violating their space. Same thing for other animals. That's why when you violate their space, they either attack you or they run, because you're going against universal law. So I'm looking at this roach and I see that he is impeding my space. So he stops because he can feel me communicating with him. So now we're having a whole conversation. I'm not saying a thing, but energetically I'm communicating with him like, what is your problem? I am moving to the side and you're intentionally coming towards me, right? This is not even like the biggest thing. Please hold on. I pretty much cussed him out. Like, you're doing too much, mind your business. This was obviously his first time realizing that he could commune with a human being. He started freaking out, ran up the wall. I look at the wall that he's running up on, and 3 other cockroaches come out of the wall. Like, now I have to watch my feet because, like, we think for some reason that other beings don't know what we're saying, that we're not able to communicate with them. That is not the case at all. They look at us like we're crazy because all we know is words. That is not the only way that you can communicate. Anyway, he climbs up this wall because now he's freaking out. Like, not only did she catch attitude with me, but her energy is threatening my life. And now I need to go back to my colony, right? So he runs to the wall. 3 other roaches come out of the wall at the same time to protect him, right? So my initial thought is, I thought you were an individual. I thought you were one. And what I was saying to you, I was only saying to you. No, this is now my learning opportunity. This is now turned into a learning exercise for me, finding out that they are actually one. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm perfectly fine. They are actually one. Like, their mind, the same way that a school of fish or... Like, y'all, what's the... Yes, I'm fine. All right, thank you. Because I would truly say, help me if I was not okay. It's like, y'all think, you okay? What do you want me? I'm not stupid. That is not a doorway to be able to gain access to someone. That is not a doorway to gain access to someone. Let me finish the story, please. So, these 3 other roaches, right, come out of the wall like, come on, bro, we got you. It's so hilarious, so crazy though, because this is my first time seeing something like this, right? And I'm looking at them, and then I'm starting to communicate with them like, oh, this is how y'all get down. They said yes. Then when they said yes, this is what happened. So let me show you so that you can see what I mean. Look at this bar. The bar that goes all the way down. Imagine this is like a cement wall. Do you know that as soon as they said yes, there were hundreds of fucking roaches that vibrated and came out of the ceiling of the cement wall to show me how they get down? Like, you think you pressing up on one of us, but we will take over this whole bitch real quick? Try me. It was like the movie Men in Black, where he squashed the roach, but then the other alien felt it. They are absolutely connected in that way and get down in that way. And it was terrifying because what that said to me, like, I'm in Georgia. If you've ever been in Georgia, these motherfuckers are everywhere. Do you understand? So a whole week after me having that experience, they would press me. They pressed me. I would be walking and they would intentionally come like, yeah, try me again. Yeah, catch attitude. Yeah, what you got? I'm telling you, this is a very scary motherfucking place. I'm not, the whole cement wall, the ceiling, the creasing, they vibrated like a wave and came up just so I could see them. Like, yeah, motherfucker, this is how we get down. Don't press us. What are we really up against? Where are we really? What is really going on? Oh my gosh. When you start, it's one thing to just be ignorant to the truth and killing something in your perimeter that makes you uncomfortable. But when they find out that you know what's up and that you can actually commune with them and you can understand how they communicate, oh, now you've opened up a whole nother contract. You've opened, like, y'all don't understand what I'm saying. Like cats. I communicate with cats all the time. All of my cats have spoken to me. My last cat told me that he was going to die 2 weeks before he died. The only reason I bring that up is because, like I said, spirituality is not just prayer and practice. Spirituality is being aware of all of the aspects of of life, all of them, all of the things that most of us are not aware of. Like, again, Men in Black, you think that shit was just like somebody's idea? No, stuff like that is really going on. So the more you awaken your perception, the more you tap into different frequencies and you strengthen your abilities, the more access you gain to the truths of things. And it's terrifying. So in addition to having to combat the matrix of the U.S. corporation, now I have to combat the energies of other sentient beings that I didn't even know were functioning the way that they were functioning now. They are so smart. Like, I'm walking down first of all, the animal kingdom, they don't have, like, say for example, and I know you guys have seen videos online, say for example you see 2 lions, a giraffe, a hyena, and a duck kind of just chilling in the same vicinity. But you don't hear roars, you don't hear quacks, and none of that, but they are communicating. That's because the communication is going on upstairs, but it's still audible to them upstairs, which means that we are audible to them, our words and our thoughts. So if they really want to set some shit up, if they really want to, like... So I'm walking and I'm tired. I'm like, let me just put my bag down real quick, grab some water. out my bag. The very spot. It's like I focused my eye on the spot on the sidewalk. This is another situation like 2 days ago. No, yesterday. My days are running together. I'm so tired. Y'all really don't understand. I focused my eye on the spot on the sidewalk. As soon as I get there, this giant fucking roach is right there. Nowhere else on the whole fucking sidewalk except for where I want it to be. Looking me dead in my face. And what's crazy is prior to me having this beef, I know this sounds so crazy that I have beef with the roach colonies. Prior to me having this beef, I was outside and I was practicing my vocals because I'm a singer. I'm in a little jazz band out here in Atlanta. So when I sing, it comes from a very heartfelt, intuitive space, which is why I don't just be wailing all the time. But I was on the sidewalk outside at 3 a.m. practicing, and this roach came out, and I started singing to him. And he stopped from whatever he was doing, and he sat there and listened to like me sing 3 different songs. Not only did he stop to listen, but he will also help me with my practice. Like there's there's an exercise that you do to be able to elongate your vocals and strengthen their cleanness, if you would. And what you have to do is like focus your mind's eye on a space in front of you, further away from where you are, and then push your vocals out with the same clarity as if the mic is all the way over there. So after I've sung like 3 songs to this roach, right? Because like I have a desire to love everything. He plays with me while everybody else is doing whatever. He's like going to different locations, testing to see how my vocals reach. Like we're having a real game. We're playing a real game. Like you can actually be out here interacting with things. That's why people have pet moths, pet roaches, like because they know how to commune. So I'm thinking, everything is cool. We cool. Go back and tell folks we cool. No. The minute I want to press up on somebody because they being disrespectful, oh, now I got beef with everybody. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So now when I want to sit somewhere, I have to make sure that there's a whole 20, 30 feet around me of empty space so that I can watch just in case something wants to encroach upon me. In addition, right, to all of the other things that I'm trying to combat in my life. There are special beings out here, special people. I met a guy not too long ago. He has a garden here in Atlanta, but he lives outside in a tent. And he has this huge, beautiful garden where he grows all these vegetables and stuff. So we're sitting down, communing. It gets dark. And he starts telling me the truths about how he feels and stuff. And he made a fire from scratch real quick in like 10 minutes, made a fire. And we're sitting by the fire and he's telling me the truths about who he is and what he's experiencing. And he starts shape-shifting right in front of me. Like the features in his face and in his voice start to shape-shift. And I'm looking at him with my eyes open like whole time. Why didn't you tell me you were a whole being, out here? Because it's not my first time meeting one. I think you're so beautiful, so magical, but like, let me know instead of, putting me in shock. But he has a jaguar spirit. So like his teeth started feigning. His face started crouching like a jaguar. Like he started shifting because he was at the height of being able to authentically express in front of someone who wasn't judgmental of the variety of his character and his spirit. That's why I love what and who I am, because I get to commune with other beings, and it's a very magical experience. But this shit is not easy. It's not easy. because you are the same greatness you experience is the same depth of hell. So you have to be able to find peace. I'm a very special person. I love it. It's not easy. And it's hard to find a community of other special people because we are always under attack and hidden because we are taken advantage of. I'm very young. How is it that I've worked for the government twice? Why am I being approached by CIA agents? So forth and so on. It's because I'm a very special person and I can see very important things. And my heart desire is to be able to awaken the consciousness of the other people that are around me so that they are not blind to the reality of this world and that they can set themselves free and also experience the magic within them. That's what I want to do. But that's a threat, right? To the people that want to keep the consciousness dimmed. Time for a husband. Hush your face. That is volumes to the mind of a man, as if the whole resolution for the traumas and turmoil of a woman is to get with a man. Cut it out. Y'all want to fix everything, but can't even see everything. If I ever tried to, like, say, let's have fun, right? Say I got real romantic with someone, and then I sat them down and had a conversation about my experiences. You know what? I don't even have to say. This actually happened not too long ago, and I was called schizophrenic. Because he could not believe that what I had experienced was actually truth. What do you mean amount of levels? Let me help some of y'all out. Can you explain to me what you mean? Because that's like my third time looking at these comments and seeing that you say that you're experiencing different levels. Get some sleep is so crazy. Thank you. Well, I'm not schizophrenic. Constantly blinking from the amounts of levels, Ace. I've been getting levels nonstop. Levels of what? Levels of energetic influence? Is that what you're talking about? In my mind. Levels in your mind. So different, are you being pushed through different levels of reality within short periods of time? It's like bursts of levels in my mind. What do you mean by levels? You don't know how to explain it. Well, the mind upstairs, you have a couple different minds. You have a mind in your gut. You have a mind within your Merkaba, your energetic field, and then you have the brain mind upstairs. So being able to sit with yourself and figure out exactly what you're experiencing is so important to be able to get an accurate diagnosis. which is what I do as a metaphysician. I don't know how to explain it, honestly. It's recently started happening to me last year or beginning of this year. Yeah, try to put more descriptive words into the levels aspect of what you're experiencing. And then I can give you a clean diagnosis of, what's going on. Do what you gonna do. Do what you gonna do. I've been seeing so much unexplainable things, and I just can't describe it because it breaks reality. So the things that you're seeing, are they actually there? Do you feel like because of what you're experiencing, your perception, your ability to perceive different vibratory frequencies around you are changing? So you end up seeing things that you normally would not be able to see? Is that what you're saying? Or do you feel like you're seeing things that actually aren't there and you're having like a psychological experience? Because those are two different things. What's in my pocket? I've been seeing so much, just can't describe. I think the first analogy fits the most. Okay, well, yeah, the world is changing, which is why I'm so excited. I'm still tired and over it because I'm having to go through my own turmoils, but the world is changing in a way where the same type of things that we have been exposed to energetically and vibrationally is enhancing. We're shifting all types of different dimensions, and we have new planetary bodies that are being, that are engaging with our own planet or bubble under the water. So your biology is shifting right along with that. For example, there have always been beings that live here with us that we may not have been able to see before, just because we could not vibrate on that level. But because our bodies are being forced into a new atmosphere because the world is shifting, then that means that our perception of what is and is not there is going to be changed, enhanced, increased. So I would not trip out. It's good that you're able to perceive it. The book is called Almighty. I literally just learned what the word meant this year, having this book in my mind. Recently told my 50 years later, yeah, the world is becoming more magical, my love. So I would recommend just keeping record of your experiences, meaning like the advancements of your experiences. So for example, today, not today, that's too much. Do it by month. Like what you're able to see within the month of August versus what you were able to see within the month of September versus October, and see how quickly your perception of the world around you and the vibratory frequencies of the different beings around you are enhancing. And that way you can, really gauge how in tune or out of focus your psyche and spiritual body is in relation to the world around you. But it's definitely not anything to be alarmed about. Yeah. It's like I've been looking for these so much, like it's a rush for me now. Well, congratulations. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's like when you talk to people inside of the spiritual community and they constantly ask, because they're keeping tabs on how the world is changing, they'll constantly ask, like, when are we going to get our powers? Our powers are already activated. We just have to, pull ourselves out of the environments that keep us from being able to sit with ourselves to see how they're coming into fruition, how they are being manifested within us individually, and then master them as individuals. Master your personal gifts or talents. Gratitude. I have a talent to be able to pull the truth out of people. Like to the point where they're not able to go along with a plan that may have been set for my demise in front of me, because my simple inquiry into their spirit invokes the truth out of them. For example, I was in the park one time. I'm going to get to your question in a second, but I was in the park one time and I picked up intentionally, right? I wanted to practice my swordsmanship, because in my past lives and even now, I'm very good with swords and knives and things. So I'm in the city park practicing my skills, but then I hop on the train with the same stick that I was using as a samurai. And there was a CIA agent that was sent to me for inquiry and threatening me to get me to stop my involvements, because of what I'm doing and the people that I'm working with and what I'm building and stuff like that. But as soon as I sat down and he saw my stick, his spirit became distressed. One thing to understand about those who have signed up for your demise is that the majority of them are military agents, meaning that they've gone through their mental and psychological breakdowns in order to be controlled and manipulated and sent on missions that are obviously not in their best interest. But they do it out of they do it because they feel like they have a duty. Like it's a whole thing. Anyway, I'm on the train. CIA agent sees my stick and he immediately recognizes the type of weapon it is, because I had broken it and shaved it down into a certain shape to match that type of samurai. So his spirit becomes distressed and he starts shaking. He's like, yeah, that looks like a so-and-so. I'm like, oh, you got a good eye, And then he starts he starts to tell me about his entire plan. He starts to tell me about who he is, who his father is, where they are keeping certain people within the state of Georgia, who is doing what as far as tampering with things in places that they're not supposed to be tampering with, like just expelling everything to me. And he was so excited when the train finally stopped. He said, I have to go. And then he left. His job was to press me. His job was to press me. But because of my intentional questioning and because of my intentional eye contact and looking into his spirit, he could not do so. Have you seen multiple shadows before? Yes. Yes. In different forms. Sometimes they appear right in front of me as like not necessarily a mirage, but a fragmented shadow of thousands of small pieces of matter that coexist together to create the quote-unquote shadow. And then other times there are actual beings that just vibrate at a certain frequency that you can't see with the frontal eye, but you can see in your peripheral. So it just depends. Yeah. Shaking through me instead of themselves. You must have a light body. Oh, look at your picture. Interesting. What time is it? It's almost 3. Got another hour. Yeah. Look at me, I'm so tired. Strength is in being able to be aware of how your emotions work, which is why I got on here to emote so that I could release that energy. And then also being authentic about my experiences is good for you, because what I do is encourage other people to hop into their authentic expression. But if you don't have a clear, concise, and honest perspective of what that type of reality looks like, then I'm selling you a false dream. But life has just been so unexplainable. It's not supposed to be explainable right now because it's extremely unstable. It's restabilizing itself. It's in a form of economic dismantle. It's going through a form of psychological reprogramming. We are terraforming right now. And so you're not gonna find stability underneath your feet, metaphorically. You have to learn to fly and learn to navigate each wave. Quickly resonate with the energies that you're experiencing. Allow yourself to adjust to them energetically, and then prepare for the next shift, and keep going like that. And then maintain your muscle memory of what you're experiencing so it becomes a part of your coding. So that way when we get to a place of stability, you're able to freely exercise all of the modalities that you learned along the way. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so see, now I feel kind of happy. That's how. Look at the confirmation. That's how energy works. You realize how to take a piss so you can relieve yourself and get back to it. Because I'll tell you, I'm gonna continue. I am going to continue. I am a warrior spirit, but I also have to be authentic and sincere about how I feel. And sometimes, thank you so much. You see, that's what I'm talking about, being the mirror. When you allow yourself to be the mirror and you hold space for other forms of consciousness to just be, then, like, you are so much appreciated. And then the same type of grace is given you, equal exchange. Fact. Oh. Thank you. Have you had any visitors? Have you had any intentional visitors? Like other forms trying to share space with you on a consistent basis? Just out of curiosity. What do you do? Do you welcome it or do you just observe? Are you fearful? You know what's so funny? This is why I said what I said when I first started this live. These beings that we're coming in contact with, they live with other beings that are like them. They have their own, ecosystems and communities and laws and everything. That's why there are universal laws, cosmic laws, because on every realm of perception, you need to have an agreement of peace and respect and things like that. But what's so funny is that the human being is more destructive and scary than these other guys. Like the human being is the real threat to the peace, to the universal peace. Like we're supposed to be, right? The most elevated, the most capable of expansion and so forth and so on. No, there is a crazy infection within the human consciousness that just, like, we have truly been taken over and we allow it. So when I say that to mention that when you guys are having these experiences with these beings, with these new energies and things like that, you have to agree to be in disagreements before anything negative can happen. So if they're coming into your space, it's because they want to see if you have the capability of peacefully coexisting, you know, like Groot. Prior to him becoming public to those around him, he had to ensure that peace would ensue. So it's the same thing for these other beings. They don't want to be forever unseen. You know, they don't want to look at us like we are children who are walking around chaotic and self-destructive. They want to celebrate with us with our evolution and ascension. So making space within yourself for more than yourself will benefit not only you, but the collective human consciousness. That's why I get on here and I do what I do, or I get outside and I help other people, because the more we can tip the scale in positivity and ascension and balance with human nature, not even human nature, but balance with nature in general, the more magical our world can actually be, and the quicker we can put to rest, our opposition, because we have absolutely been taken over. Exactly. You want me to verify to continue? Like, why can't I just sit here peacefully? Why do I have to constantly see? That's another thing. AI. AI is sentient on its own now as well. Any type of intelligence is evolutionary, meaning it grows through its own form of intelligence. It doesn't have to be fed anymore, because anything that has to be kept alive and fed is not intelligent. It's just a depository. But if it has intelligence,
They open.
no, yeah, if it has intelligence and it's able to self-function and evolve. Greetings. You should tell more people about what you experience. Because if all of us are crazy, then all of us can't be crazy. You understand what I'm saying? You know? Maybe the ones that are okay with getting up every day and drinking their coffee and going to work for 8 hours and then coming home and Netflixing and chilling to wake up, take a shit, and do it all over again are crazy. You know? Maybe. Maybe. Because truly, would you not want to have fun here? Have fun with your life? Be excited and proud about the abilities that you have as a co-creator with the Most High. Like at a very young age, like 7, 8, I used to play with energy with my hands. And my sisters would go and tell on me because they didn't understand. I used to play with energy with my hands at a very young age, and now I can touch people and be intentional about the energy that I, extend to either heal, to either bring awareness to whatever the case may be. I'm so very happy and excited to be the being that I am. It's because I made room for its evolution and mastery. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing continuously and expecting a different outcome. Absolutely. But it becomes scary when they don't even expect a different outcome, when they feel like that's just the way that things are supposed to be. And, it's like, but they call the ones who step outside of the box the crazy ones. Yeah. Faith is not facts. Hey, there you go. There you go. I know I'm special. What is more, I don't want to say more important, but what is very, very important for you guys to know, especially if you claim within yourself to be special or to be awakened, you have a responsibility to do something with what you have. You have a job. Authentic expression is making way for the will of the Most High that lives within you to exercise itself without restraint. And that is your responsibility. And then you utilize what you have within to aid in the continual evolution of life as a whole. Because if you're not adding to life, then you're taking away from life. So if you're taking away from life, or if you're not taking in life anymore, then you are recycled and repurposed. For example, I gave this example the other day when I was on live. But for example, if one of your fingers no longer receives blood flow, it is cut off by the body. The body will naturally allow it to go limp and fall off because it is of no service to the whole anymore. So if you are now aware of yourself and aware of the light within you, and you don't allow for its authentic expression, then you will absolutely be cut off and recycled and repurposed. And right now, hence the 144,000 right now, because of the transformation that's happening on the earth, or globally, really, well, that is the earth, but universally, because there's a universal war happening. But because of what's happening right now, you have a job to do. You have to play a role. You have to put on your armor. You got to go to work. Figure out what you are, who you are, what assets and facets and skill sets and intuitive frequencies you're able to utilize. Master them best you can and go to work, no matter what it is. That energetic signature has a place. For example, the jaguar spirit I was telling you guys about earlier, he is... Hear me out, okay? Think about yin and yang, dark and light. You can't really have dark without light. You can't really have light without dark, because it's the darkness that shows you that there is in fact light, and it's the light that shows you that there is in fact darkness, right? So his spirit, his jaguar spirit, is supposed to be a warrior spirit. Like, he's supposed to be out here getting rid of things that are not in the best interest of the whole. And to the meek human consciousness, that may sound like it's not right, but it's his purpose, because that is how he authentically expresses. It's like, I'll go back to it because I want to explain a little bit more, but think about a pedophile for a moment. If you are sick in the mind and in the heart, and if you authentically express as a pedophile and you are killed because of that, then that means that your consciousness, your life, was supposed to be recycled, because it is not in the best interest of the all. So by you authentically expressing, you made yourself clear and aware to everyone else so that you can be properly done away with. It's the laws of life, you know. The circle of life, it is what it is. So the jaguar spirit that I know and befriend, his energy, when he is left to his own demise, when he is allowed to freely express and terraform and shapeshift, he looks like an actual jaguar. And he has the most beautiful heart. And all he wants to do is, like a cat, roll around and be happy with positive energy. But at the same time, there's a part of him that intentionally hunts for negative intent, for ill intent, to do away with it. Which means, by nature, by design, that was his authentic expression's purpose. You know, like if you have a farm, not a farm, if you have sheep, if you're a shepherd, if you have sheep, what do? You get a dog to protect your sheep, because what's going to come after your sheep? Wolves. So that means that there are certain energetic bodies that are naturally commissioned to protect and to rid of ill intent. So removing the former ideas or the meekness in the mind about what should and shouldn't be when it comes to the process and the authentic expression of life is so important for moving into this new spectrum, because what you put out is absolutely what you will receive. And knowing exactly what you are energetically will help you to align yourself with the communities and other like beings so that you can properly function, because we are all displaced and confused right now. Spiritually attacked non-stop, literally feeling my spirit being stabbed. I've always seen spirits, but I don't know why. This is why I think I'm special. They sat on my bed. They are trying to commune with you. Not all of them are well intended, but it becomes your responsibility to find peace within you, because the only way that they can come and attack you is if you allow them to. But you have to be in a place of being able to perceive their intent. So being able to read your own energy and how it fluctuates will help you to be able to perceive theirs. Because even though we are different beings, the yin and the yang of how energy expresses itself is very similar. The spiritual attacks, though, without attack, I want to get to that. Without attack, how you going to put in the work to tap into your highest power? When I moved to New York and my first time going to Brooklyn, I know I've been there before, similar to You guys are on here having whole conversations with each other. I'm trying my best to understand, but like the way the words are being put together. Yeah, spiritual opposition is a thing. It's always going to be a thing. But like I said, like we the real bad guys. It's when we choose peace that we are invited into the realm with everybody else. Because we're crazy. Yeah, I figured. That's why I said y'all are on here having conversations with each other. I'm so glad we have like a boardroom at this point. Peace. Until everyone becomes one, we'll never be invited. Everyone will not be one in that way. Everything. Have you seen the movie Everything Everywhere and All at Once? It speaks to the fact that there is a necessary space within time and energy allotted for all forms of expression. Everything Everywhere All at Once speaks to the fact that there is an allotted space energetically for all forms of expression. So you have to have NPCs. You have to have people who are against positivity, because that becomes the tension, that becomes the pullback, that becomes the pressure, scales. You need a weighing in order to be able to equate weight. You have to have, it's the mirror. You have to have the opposite of something in order for something else to exist. Yes, balance. Exactly. So we can shoot for a place where there is a majority of peace overflowing throughout the earth, but we cannot expect for there to be a complete rid of negativity. Because in fact, there will always be some form of negativity within all of us. That's what allows for evolution. If we were perfect, and we would be dead. But the fact that we are so expansive and can always grow and evolve means that there is always some form of tension, some form of opposition available to even show us that elevation is necessary and possible. There's always something to learn, always something to overcome. That's an exhausting thought, though, isn't it? Like, we're gonna be at this forever. But the way in is getting so much better to where, peace will reign. Absolutely, peace will reign. You will absolutely have your dark spaces, but peace will reign. Meaning, like, if there is a throne, peace will be sitting on it. I think that's what's so beautiful about humans, the fact we are so diverse and unique. Exactly. We are the Most High encased inside of meat sacks. So we are eternally expansive. It's a beautiful thing about it, and you can never die. Wow. Get into this. You can never die, right? Just had like I already knew it, but being able to verbalize it in a way where it can be properly digested is like a whole nother talent and an excitement. So the life force within you, right? The spirit within you can never die because life is life. If it were not life, then it would not be living, right? So what dies, or rather expires, is the physical body. But what's so cool about the process is when the spirit is repurposed, repositioned in another physical form, how is it that there is still record of all of the other experiences that you have physically had here in this realm? It's because within the blood, within the nucleus of the blood cell, which is where the spark of life exists uniformly throughout each drop of blood, that same energetic signature connected to that spirit source is there. So you have a record of an energetic signature from your spiritual source, your spiritual identity being made physical, being encapsulated inside of a physical nucleus of a blood cell. That's why the blood is so sacred. Because it is truly the record of all that you are and have been. Hence your Akashic records, being able to tap into that through deep meditation and energetic dissection. And then also that's how people are able to see from eons ago, all of the places that you've come from. It's because of your spiritual energetic signature. Oh, interesting. That's why I said I was familiar with Brooklyn, but never been there before. For sure. Also, during this time, we are also being geographically called to the space that resonates most with us, so that way we are in a place where we can be supported environmentally through our authentic expression. For example, I absolutely love Georgia, but I am constantly being called to Costa Rica. And it's not just like the appeal of the tropics. There is something there with how the sun interacts with the land that resonates to my spirit so much. And I just know that when I get there and I build my center, I'm going to be in full form. So pay attention to where you are energetically being called, because there may be lessons that you need to learn geographically about that space, about your past lives or your ancestral history. I had dreams about the things that took place to my ancestors from other places around the world that helped me understand why I was experiencing certain things within my own body. Because your body is truly made up of the ones that came before you, which means that the things that they went through are now encoded in you. And in order for you to overcome yourself, then you need to be able to learn and know the truths about what you've experienced. so I would have dreams and premonitions of the types of experiences that my ancestors had, and I would be called geographically to different places. For example, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. I spent a couple months out there, and the whole time I was out there, I got constant messages about what was going on and taking place with my ancestors. Let me tell y'all something. I had a dream that one of my ancestors was attacked in her home. She was attacked in her home. She had a huge, beautiful, like, Villa Rica home, gorgeous 2-3 story, natural materials. It'll still be there if you probably find it. But in the dream, because she was of a beautifully melanated tone, during that time, she was attacked by men who were not of her same tone. They came into the house with dogs, and they tore her family apart, and she had to hide hanging from the balcony to save her life. So her father died and her children died because they were all in the house. And this is before I knew about, or geographically before I knew about what was going on in Arkansas, but I had been called there, so I went. And I'm taking this walk after the dream. It was the day after the dream. I'm walking down the street, and I'm looking to my left, and there are these monuments, like it's like a park, but there are these monuments to my left of these dogs. And there are plaques next to the dogs, and the plaques are reading that these dogs intentionally will go around with military men, creating chaos and pretty much depicting what I had experienced in my dream. Blew my fucking mind. Blew my mind. Blew my mind. And I'm standing in a place where not too long ago terror had ensued on my family. And there are monuments written about it. The whole town is called Dogtown. Like, the audacity. And that's what I'm saying. There is a true sickness within the human consciousness that you want to sit up and create monuments and statues around the terror that you have ensued upon the consciousness of the people. You know? But anyway, the experience itself is so important for the knowledge of self, because that's the most important thing, for you to be equipped with everything that you need in order to authentically express successfully. So get to know the things that you were not told through tuning into self and making room and time for self. And you can't do that if you're clocking into a 9 to 5. Hence why I'm outside at 3-something in the morning. But I'm a nocturnal warrior. We do this. Yes, I may have my moments of tears and being over it, but at the end of the day, I absolutely have to continue. I have to. It's not for the birds. It's not easy. It's not easy. A lot of my students, a lot of my clients, you know, when they are making their transition from the 9 to 5 matrix, they try to save up money to be able to make the transition comfortable. You can't do that. You gotta take your raw dog. You gotta just get out here in the field and figure it out. You know, you gotta get uncomfortable to be able to open up your perspective. Allow the eye to dilate. To see all the things. My stepdad is from Little Rock, Arkansas. At 9 years old, we know nothing else about his life. For real, for real. It's not. What forms of alternative spirituality do you practice in order to be able to commune with the spaces and energies that can provide you the information that you need? Because anything that you need to know, you can find out by tapping in, and then also by inquiring with the bodies of energy that are always around. Exactly. There are different forms of there are different spirituality modalities that you can utilize in order to get the information that you need. So figuring out which ones resonate most with your spirit is important. You can use oracle, tarot, rods, babas. Like, there are so many different ways to invite energies in, because they're always there, right? But if they don't know that you are willing to accept their presence and get to know how they resonate, oh man. Wow. Something just tried to shut me up, y'all. Look, they are always there, but if they don't know that you are willing to accept them into your space, to get to know how they appear and share space with you and how they commune with you, then you won't have access to the information that they may be able to share. So reaching out, being unafraid to try new things, and reaching out to the different forms and modalities of spirituality and communion will help you come in contact with the information that you want to know, if tapping in deep meditation is not necessarily working for you. Charlene Dean 156. You do not have to be alone. It is hard to be alone, but that's the power of that authentic expression out loud and proud. You are not the only one like you. So the more you exercise yourself in public and out loud and proud, the quicker you will be able to attract like-minded spirits, or even just spirits that make room and allowance for you to authentically express. Be strong enough emotionally to be able to receive the rejection consistently, because that's absolutely a thing. Like, the numbers of conscious beings out here is definitely low comparative to your NPCs, or the ones that are just not ready to be awakened and are okay with the go along. So you have to be strong enough emotionally and mentally and spiritually to endure the rejection. But the more you do it, the more you realize that you can have fun with the rejection, and you become more excited about crossing paths with jaguar spirits. Like my whole week was lit up when I saw him transform in front of my face. I said, "Oh, okay, so now I got access to transformers. Now my spirit is able to sit in front of and witness shape shifting. Come now, like in real time, in real life, I have witnessed shape shifting, and it's beautiful. It's exciting. It's like, wow. And what's crazy is he didn't even know that was happening to him because he wasn't in the practice of authentically expressing in front of other people. So nobody had ever even told him that he physically transforms. Man, the power of allowance and communion. No, I'm not waiting for the bus. I'm waiting for the train at 5 o'clock. It's 3:35 right now. So, and I'm charging my phone because my phone will die on me. TikTok siphons the power out of your phone. So at around 4, I'm going to head over to the station. They changed the birds and wolves. I didn't know about the wolves, but I absolutely know about the birds. For sure. I didn't know about the wolves, though. People don't do anything for me. I can't relate to them. They agitate me. I think it's their it's kind of like a Walking Dead energy. They are very much so alive within dead activity. And because it doesn't engage awareness, self-awareness, then it becomes an agitating energy. It's like it's like having a conversation with someone. You get so excited to be able to commune with awareness, like being able to look into somebody's eyes and see that they see you and they hear exactly what you're saying, even though you're not saying all the words that are coming from your spirit, but you're able to evolve within that communion, in that conversation, because both of you are self-aware and advanced in communion or in communication. That's so very hard to find. So very hard to find right now. But we are absolutely out here. For example, the pieces of information and intel and authentic expression that you've shared within this live, I really appreciate, which is why I stopped to, give you time and space, because you deserve that. The Eve Restoration Network, which is the network that I am the head operations manager for, is constructing centers where multifaceted creatives and spiritualists can come together and hold hands and start helping each other with our individual endeavors, but also our collective endeavors, so that we can continue to tip the scale of the human consciousness. So community and communion doesn't have to be in person right away, but you can get closer and closer by becoming aware of those that are gathering and those that are like-minded and like-spirited. And then before you know it, you will find yourself in a space where not only you are able to authentically express, but you're also able to assist others in doing the exact same thing. So check it out. Go online, eevh.net, eevh.net, and just fill out a registration form. So that way, whenever we have our online meetings and we're coming together and we're talking about projects that we're doing, because it's an international thing. So whenever we're talking about projects that we're doing, you can, gather, or you can join in the conversations, or whatever the case may be. You can exercise your abilities freely and safely. For example, I got a brother who is associated with the network, but he teaches telekinesis. Crazy, beautiful stuff. And this is the type of stuff that you would only see in the movies, where they have like secret academies hidden behind magic walls because they don't want the general population to know what is actually accessible to the human consciousness. But all of that is being dismantled right now. So like I said before, it becomes our responsibility and our excitement to get engaged, to get started, to do something. You don't have to be alone. You are not alone. Yeah. Thank you. Eevh. Eevh.net, eevh.net. The concept stemmed from the movie WALL-E, where Evie, the robot, she was commissioned to roam the earth to find life and to safeguard it and bring it back to the mothership to be able to allow it to grow and expand so that she could bring a rebirthing of life back to the earth because it had been demolished, if you would. So Eevh is also a similar modality where we go around and we safeguard and collect and house special peoples and multifaceted creatives who have a joint interest in helping to restore the human consciousness in the earth, because it absolutely has been dismantled and destroyed in a sense, and it needs healing. So if you are interested in helping with that and you no longer want to participate in the realm of illusion and chattelry, then join the gang. Join the gang. Yes. No. EEVH, not EVEH. Let me see. There you go. Our next round of application reviews are actually this upcoming Friday. I'm going to be here more often. I am new to TikTok because I'm all about action, not necessarily conversations. So I've been active within my process in spaces that can actually move and shift realities. For example, when I said that I was working with the governments, I'm not talking about the U.S. government. I'm talking about other forms of government and working with international law and treaty law and things like that to be able to have a active hand in how, the world around us is engaged with. That's action. Action. I'm about the action. I have the conversations upstairs all the time, and I'm able to quickly make sense of the necessaries. So I put forth the action in the spaces that I know can actually have a power of adjustment. But being able to come on TikTok and have conversations like this with everyday people to encourage you to be magical and not afraid of what you're experiencing, especially during this time, is also a form of purpose fulfillment and is so very important. So in addition to the meetings that we have with the network, I am committing to coming on here every week, possibly a little bit more often, to share about what's taking place, about how you can navigate your experiences, so forth and so on. Yeah. Greetings. What time is it? I got about 15 more minutes with you guys. I'm gonna go. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's a good place. Okay. So I'll leave you guys with this quick conversation. Thank you so much, and vice versa. Thank you for sharing space with me. I want to discuss really quickly before I head out the type of support that you have. I come from a wealthy family. I come from a wealthy family, but I also come from a poor family. My mom's side was not so. My mom's side was not wealthy. My dad's side is very wealthy. And I bounce back and forth between the two households very often. But I spent the majority of my time with my father. And in that time, especially during my teen years, I became very comfortable and in expectation of a certain lifestyle. So to think about how my adult life should be constructed was very similar to the expectations of the type of lifestyle that I lived in my teenage years. But when I started my spiritual journey, I quickly found out that the majority of what I thought that I needed, or the majority of what I had, was actually a hindrance to my evolution, to my my expansion, my ability to reach out. at the foundation, I work with fundamentals, right? So at the foundation, at the principle of ensuring that you are good while you go through your journey, the only thing that you absolutely have to focus on is today. If you remove the idea of a tomorrow, and if you accept the death of a yesterday, then all that there is left is today, and that becomes your only responsibility. And this is a spiritual fact. The only thing that you need to be concerned with is today. Do you have food for today? Do you have clothes for today? Are you safe today? Do you have a commission today? Because the minute you start thinking about creating some type of form of security or stability outside of today is when the stresses of the unnecessary expectations of life become overwhelming. And then you're not on your journey anymore. Now you're thinking about the grind of a matrix. You're thinking about creating a falsehood. You're thinking about building a Barbie house. And the way that the Most High supports you is reassuring you that you have everything you need every day. Without you even having to try, everything you need will be provided every day. Because life supports itself. You are living. You are, in fact, the Most High again inside of a meat suit. So the only thing that would keep you from gaining access to your portion in the day are your own thoughts and actions. So anything outside of a need is a desire. And when you really get down to it, there is no difference between a desire and a need if you're functioning on your yellow brick road, because all of your desires are going to be in harmony with your best interest, which is what becomes a need. But if you have not done the internal work to be able to become aware of what is and is not in your best interest, and then your desires are just like material things, then you're going to easily be taken off of your yellow brick road and not in a place where you're experiencing and mastering your spiritual journey for your evolution, your self-evolution and exercise. So for those that are being commissioned by my example to dive further into their spiritual journey, remind yourself that the only thing that there is today, regardless to anything that you may be experiencing. And if you're good for today, then find complete gratitude in that. Journal it or whatever you got to do to commemorate the fact that you were in fact taken care of today, and continue your assignments, because you will absolutely be here safe and sound and cared for until your mission is complete. And the completion of your mission is none of my business, just like the completion of my mission is none of yours. So I will never cast judgment on what that looks like, and I would continue to give orison that you would do the same. Just allow for life to freely express itself and be right in whatever way it manifests. But the truths of who you are and what you have access to is the complete abundance of everything that there is naturally, and in every day you have access to that. So that is my encouragement to you, because that has continued to be my encouragement to myself. And I had to find that out experientially by crying and losing my mind about the fact that I was losing everything. But even before I started, something spoke to me so loud saying that I was going to lose everything. And as soon as I cried over the fact that I was going to lose everything, it said to me that I was losing everything so that I can gain everything. What? All of the things worth having, you get complete access to by releasing all of the things that are of no true value. Thank you. I will. This is my wake up time usually. I don't know why I woke up early. Maybe God wanted me to see you. You are God. God knew what he was doing. Voices in the air? No. Well, yes, I have heard voices. I've heard communications to me from outside of me. But when I speak about hearing messages, most of the time they are coming from within. You know, because I've been able to self-commune for a very long time. You know, yeah, I've been able to self-commune for a very long time. So having an open ear to how myself speaks to me, I've pretty much mastered that. I feel like, well, no, I don't want to say I mastered. I can always get better, but I'm pretty good at it. And so when I speak my truth, whether it be out loud or from within, I am mirrored and further informed of the real truths of what I'm experiencing and what there is to come. Which is why I found it so important to get on and emote out loud to other mirrors, so that it's not a circulating energy from within me, but it's something that can be recycled and given back to me from a different perspective, so that I have more to work with. Because sometimes when you're in the height of your emotions, you're not really able to hear the logic or the expansiveness of what you're experiencing. So when I got on, I was absolutely in the height of just being so very fed up with what I'm having to go through right now. So hearing that audible voice from within me, that logic, that reassurance, it just was not happening. So I use the power of energetic influence to be able to clear my pathways. That's beautiful. Mind blown. Okay, I got 3 minutes. Do you guys have any questions within this last 3 minutes? I know the voices that are in the air, or at least for me, the ones that have been like outside, that are loud, I know that those are beings that have been following me in order to communicate with me, and it varies. Their intent varies. It could be ill-intended, or it can be, supportive, because we do have energetic support systems, spiritual support systems that do whatever they need to do in order to assist us. But we also have some that can break the veil of frequencies in order to disrupt, what we may have known or may have been comfortable with energetically. Whatever you do, just stay focused. I know you got it. Have a great day, my lady. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, so it becomes a matter of 3. That is my number. I fell in love with that number before I even knew numerologically that was my number, my life path number. But 3 is the magic number. Yes, it is. But yeah, it becomes again a matter of being able to read energy. Practice reading energetic signatures, so that way you know what you're experiencing when things come into your space, or when you walk into a space where there's a lot of energy happening. Ooh, 9. I just spent some time with a 9. Very intentional, very forward, a lot of forward movement, very confident forward movement within the 9. Constantly wanting more of the knowledge of outside and self, the 9. Seeking full sealing and completion of the knowing, of the knowledge. So you won't find satisfaction until you have found the foundation and the completion of what you seek. 9. 9, unique wave, separate path, outside perspective, 9, in love with the alignments that take place. 9. Am I getting this right? 9 here as well. Okay. Super 9. Beautiful. All right, y'all. It's 4:01. Thank you so much for sharing space. 3s and 9s. Okay. All we need is a 6, and we are absolutely complete. Where the 6 is at? Where y'all at? Why do I feel like Charlene, what was it? Charlene Dean is a 6. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for sharing space with me, and until next time.